Wheat School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Syngenta Canada, Alberta Wheat Commission, and C&M Seeds.
So we're out here in a soybean field. You can really see that we're into leaf drop and it's early. So finally we have a chance to plant wheat on time. A few things that you want to think about if you get the chance to plant early. One of the biggest misconceptions out there is that, well, if I can plant on the 15th of September or the 18th of September, that really doesn't matter, both dates are good. Well, yeah, both dates are good, but believe it or not, it makes way more difference if you plant on the 15th of September versus the 18th of September than it does if you plant on the 10th of October versus the 13th of October, or in fact, if you plant on the 10th of October versus the 20th of October nearly. It's all about heat and heat accumulation. So think about this. Our optimum planting date is 450 growing degree days before the wheat goes dormant, hardens off. And so if I take a September day that's a 26 degree day and a 14 degree night, just about like it was last night and often is in September, you add 26 plus 14, you get 40. You divide 40 by 2, you get 20. So I got 20 growing degree days in one September day. If I go into October, it's often more like 14 degree day and 6 degree night. I add those two together, I get 20, divide by 2, I've got 10. So you can really see where every day makes a huge impact, and in my data, quite clear that every day you plant later in the optimum window, in that September 15th if you're at Barrie, September 25th, believe it or not, at London, that's the optimum date. You get down into Windsor, maybe it's October the 5th there or something like that, but those are really early dates. Every day you go later, you lose a bushel per acre per day. By the time I get to late October, I hardly lose anything each day. Yeah, I lose a little bit, but not nearly as significant. So this whole mindset has to change. Early really makes a huge difference in terms of yield potential. I always have people who say, Peter, can I plant wheat too early? My answer to that is yes, you can, but the risk of low yield because of planting too early is far less than the risk of low yield from planting too late. So if the rain is coming and you've got ground ready to go, for goodness sakes, plant. Oh, one of these years I'll get caught and we'll have an October that is more like July than October, and then yeah, I could really kind of get messed up because if we can get too much growth. But that's the 1 year in 25, not the 24 out of 25. Plant wheat early. The other thing that you have to focus in on, and all the other normal things, you can look at my top 10 tips, they all apply. The seed placed phosphorus, the 1-inch planting depth. But the one thing that has changed beyond that is glyphosate resistant fleabane. So that's the other thing you have to pay attention to. I had a call just yesterday from a neighbor of mine. Oh man, we have a 153 acre soybean field that's right full of glyphosate resistant fleabane. It's spread from 2010 in Windsor, 2014 we had glyphosate resistant fleabane in Ottawa. You have it even if you don't think you have it. So what's the management? It's either a glyphosate plus Aragon burn down before you plant the wheat, and remember how important it is to get the wheat right in right away, so there's not much window there, I don't want you to waste time, or before the wheat emerges, plant wheat, you have 4 or 5 days to get it sprayed. But if the wheat gets up, you can still spray Infinity. It has excellent fleabane control. Refine has some fleabane control. Buctrolam, not quite as good, but still a little bit of fleabane control. All 3 of those products are registered in the fall. Last note, no. Let me repeat this with great emphasis. Doggone it, no fall 2,4-D on wheat. The 2 biggest problem calls I had this year, we traced them both back to fall applied 2,4-D ahead of planting the wheat crop. And there's just something about 2,4-D in the fall, it does bad things to wheat. So even if you have fleabane, the answer is no to 2,4-D in the fall. Stay away from wheat in the fall with 2,4-D. Don't put yourself at that risk. Let's grow an early planted, amazing wheat crop because, man, finally the chance to plant early. Early is big yields, and you guys are all in a crappy spot in terms of rotation. We haven't had enough wheat. This is the year. Let's get it done.